it says all contaminated ones are suffering. What do we understand as practitioner? As a practitioner in the sense, one who's seeking a better life. That's what I'm thinking. Practitioner, we're not involving in certain cults and try to be, sort of some kind of red thing on your head and funny hairs and we're not trying to be that. The New Age did pick up a lot of those. Remember we used to chant Om, some to create some kind of mystical thing, right? And that's help sometimes, it definitely help to build atmosphere. Sometimes an atmosphere makes a difference because atmosphere, external atmosphere, whatever you produce, and it affects internal mind. And that's why many religions practice or cult practice or any one of those mind-tricking projects, or all of them will create certain atmosphere. But some atmosphere creations will have reasons, valid reasons. Some have valid reasons. Like for example, if you use the colors, like colors, yellow, red, green, colors, and to bring the mental level. Trungpa Rinpoche did introduce that technique. It is the 5 Buddha family color, and all the mandalas that we talk about have all these 4 colors and the different walls. But what the Trungpa Rinpoche did is every room made it into 1 color, because our mind is such, it will not function 5 together at the rainbow level. So begin with the 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and finally 5. And these have valid reasons. And also the Om is the Om Ahum is the essence of all Buddhas mantra, and they all have valid reasons. But the people who are using may or may not know the valid reason or reason at all. They will simply they use it because it does make something difference. Then on top of that, they add a little something go ding in the middle of somewhere, and all that. And because the music makes a difference for the mind of the people. In other words, the music is a vehicle to express your thoughts, as well as music is another vehicle to get the message in you. So that's why people use that. People use this to create, people use that to create, people use that, people use that to create the atmosphere of whatever message you wanted to give it. And that's what happened. And that's what happened during the 60s and 70s, 80s, 90s. Even now, some places people do that. Some places like us, we don't do that. We do have a music before because our musicians are so kind. And John has been doing every morning before I get in here, and the people are, sort of bringing the atmosphere. We have other musicians. They should do too. They should do too. No matter, it's not only John's punishment. It's not a punishment for John. So everybody should do. I know a lot of people carry guitars. A lot of people do all that. And all of them should really do voluntarily, because nobody is really punishing you. And nor is this John's territorial. So everybody should do something, And I wanted to put the colors thing on that, because color give me the city is very nice, sort of at the eastern gate outside of the mandala. So why not? So very good. And then some people objected. But some people objected doesn't mean a lot of people objected. Maybe there's one vocal spoken person makes noise. That is the cracking chair. That doesn't mean you have to listen, because there's 200 to 300 people listening on this webinar, and only 1 or 2 people object. It doesn't even mean 1%. 1/10 of a percent even. So anyway, so sakja tamja dungawa, the created or the uncontaminated phenomena are suffering. We as a practitioner, that's where I went off. As a practitioner or as a seeker of freedom, as a seeker of joy, happiness, and as we have to think about it. The simple way, this may be logically right or wrong, I'm not sure, but there could be critics can say something, but what we really have to think, catch it. And when your mind is not trained properly, it creates, every thought creates suffering. When your mind is trained properly, every thought creates peace, harmony. So it is the suffering is actually, though we have a suffering here, we have a contamination here, this and that, but actually what is really counts to us is the basic mind itself. When the mind is not, tamed or pacified and then thoughts of that will be disturbing. Thoughts produced by that will be disturbing and suffering, which is true. If your mind is peace, that peace mind will provide. That peace mind will provide good things. And when the mind is not at peace, when it's anger, hatred, or something influenced, thoughts will create disturbance, and that will create suffering. That really contaminated things are suffering means you have to understand in that way. So that means Buddha's conclusions are so great. 2, that's true. Now the third is nirvana as peace, and that is simple. Nirvana as peace means when there's a contaminated thing within our mind, when it's finished, when it's exhausted, When it's all gone, then it's peace. So nyange lendebani shishin gewa was. Nyange is either suffering or unpeaceful, worrisome. When it's gone beyond, then it's peace. Means that a contaminated mind is when it's finished, then what is left is only peace. Simple. Now the difficulty is every phenomena is empty. That is the fourth one. That is difficult.